So my name's Jaime Lara Lomelí, and I'm 21 years old, full-time student at San Francisco State University. I'm an international business major, and I also work for Starbucks full-time. I'm a supervisor there too, and I recently just got an internship as a personal assistant. I'm gay. That's how I identify. I got here from Guadalajara, Jalisco when I was 5 years old. The small rancho that I'm from, parents have their own land over there. They have houses. Our family actually owns an agricultural company. So it's not like we came here to basically better our lives. It was just that my grandpa wanted us to have a better education. Going to school here, it was more so a challenge for me just because I was always stuck between two cultures. I felt like I was trying to make my life and trying to make my own culture while confining to my parents. Like there was always that barrier. I always have to fight between Spanish and English, and my first language was Spanish. So it's kind of hard because you're just so used to speaking English all the time that sometimes, you forget some words or you have to stop and think about it. Si estoy hablando en español, me trabo porque a veces como que me desacostumbro hablar en español, so it's kind of hard. And that's when they're like, oh, okay, well, he's not from here. I feel like sometimes, in a way, not that I'm illiterate, but I feel like people have an advantage on me, even though I am bilingual, even though I can understand two languages. Sometimes I feel like I'm not proficient in the language just because my parents don't speak English. My parents obviously are they immigrated here with me, and I'm a first generation, but it's hard because you have to tie both of those things together. I moved here for school, like I said, but also because my parents aren't very accepting of my sexuality. I do live in a very traditional household. It was very hard to express myself. It was very hard to be myself at home. It is a very sensitive subject, but I don't mind talking about it. I have 5 siblings. There's 6 of us. We're all guys, and 4 of us are gay. When I was up here and I came out to my parents, and everything was, kind of put out into the universe. So in a sense, it was alleviating just because, it was finally out there. It was finally known. Not that it wasn't known, but it was finally said. It was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, but at the same time, it kind of did ruin my relationship with my mom. In a sense, just because me and my mom were really close. Me and my mom would talk every day. It was, it was like we were best friends, and then from one day to another, we just went months without talking to each other. So for my dad, it wasn't quite a shock when I came out because I'm the youngest. He was very accepting, very, very loving, just because he had been through that before with his other kids, and he said he was always going to love them for who they were. After all, they are his kids. My mother was raised in a more machista household. She would always tell me, growing up, you can do my hair and you can do my makeup and everything, but don't let anyone see you. It was kind of you can do it, but don't show anyone. She was okay when I would do it to her, but then when I would do it to someone else, she'd be like, I told you, that's not what guys do. Stuff like that, that would show her machismo. So it was very hard for her to grow past that. Till this day, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, we traveled to Mexico. We went back to our hometown for the holidays. And I took my makeup. I took my whole makeup bag, and it was in my suitcase and everything. And I flew in from San Francisco, and she flew in from LA. So we got home, and I was unpacking my stuff, and she opens my makeup bag, and she goes, what is this? And I was like, what do you mean, what is that? And then she's like, yeah, it's makeup. And I was like, yeah, that's my makeup bag. And then she goes, why did you bring your makeup bag? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I might need it to do someone's makeup or something. And then she's like, wow, why did you bring this? And I was like, it was kind of hurtful to me, but in a sense it was I understand, she wants to protect me in a way, just because she's told me before, she's like, I just don't want people to talk about you. I don't want people to hurt you. Like, you know, I feel like she does it in that sense, but she doesn't realize that that's also like, you know, like holding me back from being who I am. And if I was over there, I feel like I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have the freedom to choose who I am and what I want to be. And, you know, now like my hobbies are like drag, you know, I like to do makeup, I like to do hair, I like to do party planning, you know, like a lot of these other things that like in Mexico, like you would only find someone who is quote unquote gay doing. San Francisco has changed me a lot in the way I think, because I find myself going back home and sometimes having to correct my parents on the way they think or the things they say, just because I try to make them understand, you know, that there's other ways of thinking, there's other ways of viewing things, different perspectives. And I feel like sometimes when I try to correct them, like they try to understand me and they put themselves in my position and they kind of retract and correct the way they are. After I graduate, there's a wide spectrum of things that I want to do, but one of them would be to actually go into public relations, maybe somewhere along those lines. I've been thinking a lot lately about doing like a lot of sociology. It's a lot different than what I've been going to school for, but you know, it's a wide jump. But I think it has to do a lot with like, you know, going out and teaching people, or like, you know, like just advocating, you know, the lifestyle and what it is to be a Latino immigrant, and not only being an immigrant, but like being stuck between two lifestyles like I was, you know.